You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters. Well, I got to tell you, about an hour and a half ago, somebody asked me if I was going to make another video, and I said, no, I don't think so. And they were like, are you going to make a video on the draft? I was like, no. And they said, well, I might if the Fever were to do something like draft Raven Johnson. And I literally laughed. And I said, oh, there's no way they're going to do that. No way. That's not going to happen. I didn't even entertain it. Thought I was done for the day. Guys, I can't even believe that Amber Cox and Kelly and Stephanie White, and this reeks of Stephanie White, got into a room and came together and decided this was the draft pick to bring into the Indiana Fever locker room. You get Brianna Turner out the door. You get the drama out the door. I will say this. The Fever looked like they had at least a pretty good, calm locker room situation going on. They took a flamethrower to that. Guys, we are 2 weeks removed from this video of Raven Johnson gaslighting everybody into believing Caitlin Clark fans bullied her after the South Carolina-Iowa game from a couple of years ago. I did a video on this. This were her comments.
And then another adversity would probably be Caitlin Clark.
And look at how far Caitlin Clark is playing off of Raven Johnson. Caitlin Clark, left side. She doesn't even look at her. Waves her hand as if to say, I don't care about you. I'm not defending you.
That's one reason I hate the internet now. Because of that situation. Like, I got bashed. I got bullied. Yeah. I got called all these things that I wasn't. Right. AKA like a monkey or this, I don't know. Like, it was just things like that. And I just think I wanted to quit basketball at that time. And I wanted to just go in this little bubble of isolation and just be by myself. And I think, I leaned on God. I had some wonderful teammates, wonderful people in my life, like I said. And they helped me find that light. And it put so much fuel to the fire to me to go back the next year. And we went undefeated and met that team again. And we beat them. So I think it was all God's plan.
Okay, and I made a video. I came on here and I said, I did not believe her. I did not believe that these fans went out there and called her monkey. I mean, that's a racial slur. So this player came out and gaslighted fans 2 weeks ago. Enter in the Indiana Fever.
With the 10th pick in the 2026 WNBA draft, the Indiana Fever select Raven Johnson from the University of South Carolina.
I almost fell out of my chair. I couldn't believe it. I was like, wow, this is arguably the biggest sports drafting malpractice I've ever seen. The Indiana Fever have the biggest star in not just basketball, but in women's sports. In all of women's sports. Look, one could argue Caitlin Clarkson the top 3 biggest stars in all of basketball. NBA included. I think some could argue she's number 1 now. Now that LeBron's a little older and getting ready to retire. But just 2 weeks after gaslighting, running her mouth about the Caitlin Clark fan base, calling her slurs, saying that she was bullied, the Indiana Fever decided to bring this player into their locker room. I could not. I was speechless. Absolutely incompetent. The Indiana Fever are getting destroyed, crushed, annihilated by the fan base. Yeah. What are we doing? What are we doing? Brain dead front office and Stephanie White. I just had to draft a race baiting social justice warrior, just sabotaging Caitlin Clark at this point. It's as clear as day. The W is just trying to keep Caitlin Clark from replacing Taurasi and Bird in the record books. There's Caitlin waving Raven Johnson off. What the heck are you guys doing? Burn this front office. You guys are stupid. Treat your team as a rehab for other losers. The bitch is not welcome. Woo-wee! What the F out of all people? Clowns. What a effing joke. Fire Amber Cox. Fire them all. Fire them all. Is this for real or are we joking? What the actual F is happening? The whole front office got to go at this point. You picked a girl that made fake racism allegations against the Clark fans. This front office is dumb as F. You all need firing on the spot. I can't believe it. I can't believe this. Ain't no way. Oh, wow. 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 I knew Stephanie White would do this shit. She was glazing Raven all college season long. Effing joke. A small 5'9" guard. Not to mention she's a big-time Caitlin Clark hater. I don't get it. They get the absolute biggest star in women's sports. Do y'all want her to leave and go to a different team? Because that's what it feels like. Amber Cox needs to leave this organization right now. This is malpractice. How can you guys say you're serious about a championship and draft her? Picking someone who is still so butthurt over something Caitlin did 3 years ago that she whines about it in interviews today is not exactly, quote, protecting the locker room. Wow. I am talk about a momentum killer. What this organization would screw up a wet dream. Somebody brought up earlier, they watched my channel. You've got to be more positive than this, Rhodes. No. No, I'm not going to come up here and blow smoke up your asses. Never in a million years am I going to do that. If I don't like something, I'm going to say it. This is dumb. This is malpractice at the highest level. You drafted drama into your locker room that is pointed directly in the direction of the biggest star in the sport. Christine Brennan was right. That book right there, that book, it says in that book, the WNBA and the Indiana Fever were not prepared for the biggest star in the sport to arrive. They obviously haven't learned a lot. They haven't learned a lot. Tell me what you think. Wow. Hit the subscribe button. Make sure you're still subscribed. Try not to drink too much tonight after this pick. Good God. Wow. And already, Raven Johnson's fans are attacking Fever fans that aren't happy. I mean, you asked for an implosion among your fan base. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.